Hey everybody, I just wanted to do another Evel Knievel collectible video. I picked up this jumpsuit off Amazon for like 45 bucks or something. The belt, I needed to add a piece of Velcro to the back side to receive this side, which is stitched to the costume. I added a stitch to the top so this wouldn't flop down. I used my E6000 glue to adhere that Velcro piece to the back of it. And that should be pretty good, but being a third shift CNA at an old folks home, you know, they'll appreciate this come Halloween. So, let's get into it. So the 1972 chopper, I had put a sticker kit on. I used a zip tie over the back where the missing clear plastic piece was. The chopper stunt cycle. The chopper's kickstand will not work in here. It was different, but I just lay it on a block because it's got a flat bottom, and that lets them stand up. So this one was pretty good. I'll just send this one sailing here. And there he goes. Okay, so, and they let the gyro wind down. It's the same sound the Tasmanian Devil made. With the chopper, now this is another chopper I'm working on. The last one, I still had to pick hair and gravel out of it once I opened it up again, but now it runs as nice as that one. It's not all noisy, except the gyro part. So if you got a chopper or a stunt cycle or something, there's a guy selling replacement rivet kits on eBay, but you don't need that necessarily. Like, I took this one out, I hacksawed off the end. I think it's made out of zinc. I'm just going to use a nut and a bolt once I get this fixed. But what was going on in there, once you spread that back, and you can do this without taking the rivet out, you spread that, you can take that back tire and gear assembly out for that. But that inner gear assembly, and then of course you got the gyro part up in there yet, which thankfully is good in here, and the gear on it. But this part, the teeth are broken on the small gear. So I think I'm going to, and this gear is okay, it's just a square brass shank inside there, so you don't have any clips or any heat melting them on or anything like that. Anyway, I think off the parts Gremlin car, which had a broken chassis, really broken, I think I might be able to rob a gear out of this gearbox. I'm still debating on if I want to use this gearbox in the Gremlin that I've fixed already or not, but if I do, I'll just drill out the rivets and take that gear out of it and then use it in the chopper. So I think that'll work for that. Now, let's get into the Gremlin. That's a tweaked body there. I think you could add some heat to it and reform it, but the other body I have is better, so you might be able to bring it back to some form. I don't know. This will come with me. This, and I want this spring. So what happens here is with the impact bumper, it pushes in, okay, and that unlocks the hood. And there's this huge spring in there. You want that flying out into your eye, but that's what causes that action. And I've gone with the blue motor instead of the red one. So I went with yellow stripes. The original decals were good. I just re-adhered them right where they stood. One had moved through the years, but whatever, it's fine, it's original. Re-adhered it. With these, I made these yellow pinstripe hood stripes out of Speedway Motors bumper sticker. So I just cut a 5mm wide stripe on each side where there were no words, and ran the blade against the ruler the whole way, and then peeled off the bumper sticker stripe that I wanted, laid it on there, and then, you know, cut it the edges to fit. So that's pretty good, because all I needed was the hood stripes for that part. With this kind of thing, it's a slide and release kind of thing to pop it off. So you got another giant spring behind here, and that compresses. So you need that to run into this keyway here. Okay. So once you got the body on and the windshield hood part on, you got to compress this stud into that hole and then slide it back, and then you've got it right. See? You see that put on a lot wrong, where people just mush it down and then it smushes up, which causes a bow in that whole thing. And then you just turn that to hold it, I guess. But 1974 was the Gremlin. 72 was the 76 was the chopper. 72 was the stunt cycle. And we'll get to the Scramble van in a minute. So let's run this. There, now you've seen a Gremlin in action for probably the first time in 40 years. Okay, now the Scramble van came with a jump ramp that you could lean on the back of the van and jump your bike over it. But in the consumer complaint video from, I guess this is 1973, this thing was breaking right even in their video it broke. You see this piece here, this little tip, that broke in their video even. So it's been very fragile since the day it was made. So this ramp, I'm not even gonna ramp anything over it. But the Scramble van, it's delicate too. So with like the steering wheel here, I found the original half of the post for the steering wheel that went through the dashboard in this triangular part of the dashboard. Let's see if I can get it in here. I fished it out of there with tweezers, turned it around, and then filed both halves nice and super glued. So he's not going to put any flex on that wheel. I'm not going to have him hold it or anything. But at least I got it, you know. So your half, if you're missing a part, it might be in the dashboard itself. Another thing was back here, the hinge for the tailgate. This top post piece was broke off, so I just made one out of a round piece from a toy bicycle and filed it and super glued it on as a pivot. The wheels squeaked like no other at the axles. Find an axle here. So right here, and all four of them, I added a little bit of Singer typewriter sewing machine oil, 1 drop, maybe even less, on each of the 4 axle points, and she's quiet now. So this is 1973, but you know, it was, so now it's not squeaky or anything, it runs smooth. I hope that was in camera when I rolled it, but you know, it's quiet now. That's the whole point. So it rolls right. Okay. As regards to the action figures themselves, I've got some parts ones. And what I've been doing, if like a leg was, you know, flipping out a head is one thing. You just pop it off and pop a different head on. So like one of these guys' noses was just, yeah, this guy met the pavement with his nose just gone. So I had a better head, so I switched that out on one of mine. But with like a leg, let's find a foot. So let's say you got a foot or a leg wire that's broke, because they heat sank these right into the original hands and feet. So you just cut that off right about there, throw out the old wire, and I got this piece of copper wire out of like a Romex cable here. And if you fish that up into the body, you get it up in there as far as you can get it. You should be able to get it up, once you fight with it, up into this area of the hip. And then you'll get your legs and your knees back at least. The hip might not be there for you. If you can, great, but just be careful. You don't want to go through the body with the wire that you're feeding into it. You know, it takes a while. Once you get that up in there, you know, then you'll get your ability to bend everything back there. And then you use that E6000 glue. You got to cut that just a little shorter though, so it's up here more into the calf. And then you put your foot in with the E6000 glue, let it dry, and kind of fix the bad leg that way then. So that's what I've been doing, and it's been working. Hope that video helps somebody. Have a good day, everybody.